All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD or Application and Web Development 1100 online C# programming class for the spring 2024 semester, I've been doing a series of videos that are basically based off of the PowerPoint slides for the textbook, and that is Murock's C# Chapter 8. We're going to go into Chapter 8 now and talk about arrays and collections. And as always, I'm going to do a program first. But even before I do that, I'm going to talk about a few things. All right, and this is an example I've used before, and I don't know if it's a good example or not, but it's the one I'm going to use. Now, I've been living in Missouri now it's been about 7.5 years. Okay. And when I first moved to Missouri, my wife stayed at our home in Illinois because at the time we had a daughter who was attending college. And she actually had just started at a 2-year college. And um, so she finished there. So I lived for 2 years in an apartment by myself. So we're going to imagine that this is me in the apartment. So all right. So when I lived there, it was an 8 family unit that I was living at. So if you can imagine that if, this was not the address, I couldn't even tell you right now what the address was. All right. But if you kind of imagine for a second that it was 123 Main Street, Lake St. Louis, Missouri, 63367. Okay. And imagine that if somebody sent me a letter and they put it to Jeff Scott, apartment number 123 Main Street, I'd get it, probably get it with no problem. Now, if they put in here apartment number 2, I might get it. The person who lived in apartment 2, White, and those names I'm just making up, they might get it, or something else. All right. And in fact, if somebody used to live in the apartment, and let's say they were named Sam Stein, and somebody put this in, I might get their mail. All right. But when you think about it, the reason I'm going over this, and I'm spending a little bit of time on it here, is what we have when the mail person came by. We had a little notch that was over here someplace. Okay, so it was like, whoops. It was like over here, let's say. And the mail person would put the key in that slot and pull it open and then could put in mail for all of us. Okay, but kind of when we look at it, it was one mailbox with 8 slots. Not 8 different mailboxes, one mailbox with 8 different slots. That's kind of what an array is. So if you can imagine, I've got 15 people in this class. So if I give the first test, I could sit there and say, for example, student 1, and let's say they got a 78. Student 2, and let's say they got a 93. And I could just keep going. So just imagine I type in student 3 equals student 4 equals student 5 equals, etc. And I get down to the end, and I've got student 15, and let's say they got 100. Okay, and I can do that and make 15 variables. There's no problem at all doing that. But wouldn't it be nicer if instead of making 1 or 15 different variables, I had one variable that could hold 15 different things? And pretty much that's what an array is. All right, it is a set of contiguous memory locations that contain multiple values, but it's looked at as being one value. So if I did this, I could say int bracket bracket students. And if I did that, then basically what I would have is something similar to what you see right here. Now, not identical. Why? Because when you start counting with arrays, the first student becomes students 0. And again, let's assume they got a 78. Students 1. They got a 92. Just like before. And then all the way down to students 14. And they got 100. All right. So you can see there are similarities. There are differences between these two. The biggest similarity is they both have the same number. The biggest difference is these are 15 different variables. This is one variable with 15 different pieces. Not only that, all right, if let's just take this out all the way here. So let me do this. All right. And I'm going to pretend right now that, let's see. I think I've got the right count, but we'll find out in a moment. All right. So I could 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now, they wouldn't all be these grades. 78, 92, 21, 89. I'm making these up. 77, 66, 99, 92 again, 57, 96, 83, 11, 77, 80, and 100. Okay? Now, nothing wrong with that. That's a fine way to set up an array. But if I know ahead of time what the grades are, I can also do this. I can say int bracket bracket students equal, and I'll put it over multiple lines. Okay, so we had 78, then 92, then 21, then 89, then 77, then 66, then a 99, and let's put the rest on another line. All right, then a 92, then a 57, then a 96, then an 83, then an 11, then a 77, then an 80, and finally a 100. Okay, I can do that. Or, I can put it on another line as well. It doesn't really matter. Like that. Whoops. So if I know what the values are ahead of time, I can set it up like this. I can still do it like this, totally fine. But it's just a little bit less work to do it like that. Now, each of the things that are in an array, each of these are known as an array element. So this is array element 0, element 1, element 2, element 3, all the way to element 14. All right. Now, if I do a count, or a length property on the array, so if I came in there and said students.length, if I asked for that, it would come back and it would equal 15. Because there are 15 elements in there. Even though they go from 0 to 14, there are still 15 of them. All right. Sometimes these are also referred to as subscripts. So sometimes you'd hear this as student sub 0, student sub 1, all the way down to student sub 14. Now, what you're seeing here is what's actually referred to as a data structure. All right. I'll always remember this, and this didn't happen. All right, I'm giving you a story, but I'm adding to it something that really didn't happen. All right, I'm a student at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. I'm a freshman student, and I decide to take child psychology. This is true. So I go into the classroom the first day, and it's August, and it was hot as heck. It's a big lecture hall with about 300 people in it. There's one window, it's closed, and there are two doors right at the front, and they're open. Okay, so why am I telling you this? All right. So like I said, I'm trying to remember now why I am telling you this. So like I said, it is the first day of class. All right. We're waiting, and it's 5 minutes past the hour, no instructor. 10 minutes past the hour, no instructor. Well, in most four-year universities, if the instructor is not there in 15 minutes, you can leave. You know, you're just entitled to leave. Well, it's about 12 or 13 minutes in, and somebody walks in. We're thinking, well, good, here's the instructor. No, it was a teaching assistant. It was a young guy, and he walked in, and he said, your instructor will be here, but he's going to be a little bit late. All right, he's having some car issues, and he'll be here. Just please wait. It may be 15 more minutes. Now, imagine, he didn't do this, but imagine that instead of saying that and walking out, we're going to imagine for a second that what that person did was when they came in, they said the same thing. The instructor is going to be a little late. He's going to be in here, but he's going to be late. And so what we'd like you to do is to sit and wait for him. That's kind of what he told us to do. All right. Well, let me see if I can get onto the internet. If for some reason this is not letting me. There we go. But imagine that after the person said that they came in and they gave each one of us a Lego. And they said, here, play with this until the instructor comes. Well, let's face it, if you've got one Lego, there's only so much you can do with it. Stand it on its side, stand it on its top, turn it over, etc. But let's say I've got a Lego, and now I ask the person next to me, hey, can I borrow your Lego? And pretty soon we've got 300 people, and we create, let's say, a building with 300 Legos. Well, each one of those Legos is what we've been working with so far in this class, because each one of them is a single entity. All right. But when you start to put these single entities together, you get what's called a data structure. And an array is the first data structure that we're learning about. All right. So I'm going to build a couple of array apps for you right now. Okay. All right. Now, and the reason payroll doesn't work very well for this. So I'm not going to bring up this chapter 6 one, neither does that. But I will bring up a brand new app. All right, and again, we're in Chapter 8. So I'm going to create this, a new project. It's going to be a Windows Forms app. Let's do it. We'll do it first as a console app. How's that? And I'm going to call this Array Console. All right, and I'll put it into a folder that's called Chapter08 Arrays. Oh, I said array. I wanted to say arrays. Oops. So there it is. Okay, so let's choose that. There it is. And we'll call this solution just arrays. Okay, so we'll build this first. This is going to be very simple. All right, and what we're going to do is we'll put it into a loop. Let's see. Create new array. All right. Display array. And array sorted, ascending, array sorted, descending. Let's see. Smallest array element, largest array element, sum of array elements, average of array elements. You already know this, or you should. I'm getting all these errors because none of these routines have been written yet. So let's go and comment them all out, and we'll uncomment them as we write them. All right, so the first one will be create new array. So static void create new array. And that error has gone away. Okay? Now, when we do this, there's different ways that we can create an array. I'm just telling you that. All right? So we've got this create new array right here. Okay, let's create the array in this routine right here. So what I'm going to do, let's create the array up here. So I'm going to say int bracket bracket numbers equal, I'm just going to do it like that. I don't think I even have to initialize it, but we'll see in just a minute. So int bracket bracket numbers. Okay? So now I'm going to initialize array. And I'm going to pass that numbers. All right? So I'm calling initialize array, and I'm passing it numbers. So here I want to say int bracket bracket again numbers. All right? Now what doesn't it like? It says use of unassigned local variable. Well, I think if we go and say out again, we're probably going to be okay. Or maybe not. Must be assigned to before control leaves the current method. All right. What I want is I want to create an array with 25 elements in it. Okay. Let's see if can we do this. I'm sorry. Create new C# array with 25 elements. Okay. So I want to say int bracket bracket numbers equals new int 25 right there. Okay, that's an array with 25 elements in it. Okay, now I want to initialize that array. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to type in this random rand equals new random. I'm going to explain all this in just a minute. All right. For int LCV equals 0, LCV less than numbers dot length plus plus LCV. Numbers LCV equals ran next 1 101. All right, so let's see. Equal numbers dot length, it doesn't like this. Use of unassigned. No, I don't think that was right. So initialize array out bracket bracket numbers. I think what I want to write in here is out int numbers bracket bracket. I thought it would like that, but it doesn't like that either. Okie dokie. Must be assigned to before control leaves the current method. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say int well, I'm going to try doing it like this. Didn't like that either. It's not complaining, but it's unnecessary assignment of a value to numbers. Let's take a look at our book here. I know what I want to do. I just don't remember how to do it. So we'll figure it out. All righty. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I don't even want to go look at that. All right. All right, I'm going to call initialize array, and I'm going to create the array in here. I'm going to make the darn array global. Int bracket bracket numbers equal new int 25, like that. All right, now while. Okay. And that'll have to have the word static by it. Now everything's hunky-dory. Good. Now I have created an array with 25 random numbers. So now let's display it. Believe it or not, those two are done. So now let's do array assorted, ascending. I'm going to go back over everything when I get done. I don't know if it'll like this or not. So let's see. Cannot make a void to an int. Okay, that's fine. What I'm trying to do, and I'm not doing a very good job of it. That isn't right. I'm trying to show you this in the easiest way possible. Like I said, I'm not doing a good job. Can I just say array.sort? No. All right, doesn't like something here, so let's see what it doesn't like. No overload for sort that takes, okay, not a problem. And I'm going to call, then again, display array. All right, and then I'm going to do this. Like that. So we've got all these done. First four, we got 4 to go. All right, so this is, I'm going to put a right line here. Displaying numbers in original order. All right. And this one will say displaying numbers in ascending order. And then we'll redo it again. And this will say displaying them in descending order. Oops, console.writeLine displaying them in descending order. All right. First of all, let's see if it works. Okay, so before we do each one of these and we actually display them, All right, where we've got our display routine here, let's do a clear. So a console.clear. All right, and before we do any of these, where after we call this console.writeLine, with each one, I'm going to put in here a read line. So you can kind of have an idea, and that's got to be console.readLine. All right, so we put that there, put that there. We'll put another one here, and that's good. So file, save all, and let's run it. Now, displaying numbers in original order. Let me hit enter. There's the numbers. They're not in any kind of order. Now displaying numbers in ascending order. And you can see they're in ascending order. Now we're going to get display numbers in descending order. And they're in descending order. All right. And that was their, I believe at least, that was the original order. Okay, so we're just running it again with new numbers. All right, I should flip these two. Okay. Now let's get the largest, and then the smallest, then the largest, then the sum, and then the average. There's different ways of getting the largest. There's different ways of getting the smallest. Well, one way of getting the largest, or I'm sorry, the smallest, would be to sort the array elements again. Okay? So I'm sorting them, and I'm going to say displaying smallest array element. All right, and we can do that. And what is it? It's the 0th element. So all I need to put in here is console.writeLine numbers 0. That's the smallest element. Now, how else could I have done it? I could have set the first element to the smallest and then compared 25 times, which would have been fine. But it's a lot of work that I don't have to do. Now I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to now do the largest array element. And I'm going to sort them, just like we did, right here, and then I'm going to reverse that. In fact, let's just grab that one line. So that'll be array.reverse numbers, and then displaying the largest, and it again will be element 0. So those two are done. Now let's do the sum of all the array elements. All right. And all I have to do for that is to write a loop. So let's grab that loop that we did before. Okay. And let's have a variable called sum. We'll set it equal to 0. All right. So sum plus equal numbers LCV. Console.writeLine. The sum of all array elements is plus sum. We can say .toString. All right, we'll do a clear here. And we'll do a clear up here too. And we'll do a clear up here too. In fact, do we have to do that? Did we do a clear? No, yep, we do need it here. All right, so we now have the sum. So the only thing we need yet is the average. Okay, average of array elements. All right. Well, we've got the sum right here, right? We've got the sum. All right. So we could take that variable called sum and make it static and basically allow everybody to use it like this. All right. And then where we're doing that, where's that sum? We don't need this anymore. And now for our average of array elements, all right, I can say double, not double, decimal, AVG equal, that's the average, the sum, and the sum, I'm going to cast it so it is a decimal, divided by numbers.length. And then I'm going to print it out. The average of all array elements is AVG. Let's put that to 2 decimal places. Now, whoops. First of all, let me run the whole thing. All right. File, save all. So hit enter. There's the original numbers right there. Okay. Hit enter again. And the problem is I need to put that, the clear statement, I do need to move where it is. Okay. Let's just do that right now. So I'm going to get the clear statement that I have in here just once. I'm going to get it out of here. And I'm going to put it where I need it. There, 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 and there. So let's try it one last time here and see if we've got this finished. Okay, not. Well, there's the average, and that worked. Everything else is clearing too fast. So let's see. Let's get rid of all the clears. How's that? We'll just get rid of all of them. I'll clear at the beginning when I first start. So we'll clear right here. Okay. And I'll get rid of all of these clear statements. All right. File, save all, and let's try running it again. All right, there's, well, it's still screwed up, but there's ascending. And that's all that's working right now is ascending. So that's the only one that's in there correctly. That clear is working there. Okie dokie. So if that's working right for the ascending, it'll also be correct then for the descending. And it should be correct for the smallest. and it should be correct for the largest, and it should be correct for the sum, and it should be correct for the average. All right, it's almost there. Why are these doing this? Oh my goodness. It's all the console.clears. It's clear. It's screwing everything up. I'm sorry. Let me get rid of every console.clear that's in here. What I should do is comment them out, not get rid of them, but that's okay. Get rid of that one too. All right. So file, save all. So displaying the numbers in original order. There they are. There's descending. There's the largest. There's the sum. There's the average. Okay, we're going to fix this right now. Displaying the numbers in original order. I'll fix those. Let's do a \n here. Let's do a \n here. So we've got the largest and smallest taken care of now. Okay, those should all be okay. All right. Oh, for some reason we're not calling the display array here, so that's why that isn't showing. All right, so we've got the numbers in original order. Okay, let's look at it now. Displaying the numbers in original order. Well, I got it in there twice. Descending, largest, sum, and average. Those are all okay. Boy, I'm making this much harder than it has to be. All right. Smallest, get rid of this. Try it again. That should be, that's okay. All right, still displaying twice, but displaying numbers in original order. Ascending, descending, largest, sum, and average. All right, so the original is displaying twice, so I must be calling it twice. That's fine. We'll fix that right now. The largest, there's 100, so that is the largest. The smallest, there's 2. So I'm displaying the largest. I'm not displaying the smallest, so that's got to change. And that's being called twice. Let's fix that, and then we're done with this. Displaying in original order. All right. There's the largest. We're never calling smallest array element. So let's try that now. So for the largest and smallest, do another \T here. And we got another one there. And let's put another one here. All right. File, save all. Hit enter. There's our numbers in original order. There's our numbers in ascending order. There's our numbers in descending order. There's our largest array element, our smallest array element, the sum of all the array elements, and the average of all array elements. All right, so let's go back and look at this. Again, because I'm just a little weird about when I do things. I don't know why I'm losing these, but those should have, okay, I guess those are the ones I should have moved over, not these. All right, so we've got descending, we've got ascending, we've got the original, we've got the largest and the smallest and the sum and the average. Oops. Original, ascending, descending, largest, smallest, sum. I can remove one of those tabs there, and then these will all line up. So that's everything. So for my largest and smallest, let me get rid of one of these. Largest, smallest, file, save all, run the program, enter, 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 enter. There you go. So what are we doing in order to get this? All right, well, we're calling initialize array right there, right? And what that's doing is, this is called seed the rand. All right, we are creating there a new instance of the random number class. So this will generate 25 random numbers between 1 and 100. All right, this will display the 25 random numbers. This will also, I shouldn't even say that, sort the array in ascending order. And this will sort the array in descending order. And we can do that because we already put it in ascending here, so we're just flipping it, for lack of better words. All right, so this will display the smallest array element. This will display the largest array element. This will display the sum of all 25 array elements. And this will display the average. How did I get those? Well, again, this says fill up the array with 25 random numbers. They have to be greater than or equal to 1 and less than 101. All right? Then we display them after we've set it up. And that's what the display thing does. It displays a number and a space, a number and a space. Then for ascending, we call the array.sort method. That gives us the numbers in ascending order. All right? Then we do the descending. It's already in ascending order, so when we call reverse, it puts it in descending order. Then for the smallest, we sort it and grab the first one. For the largest, we sort it, reverse it, and grab the first one. For some, we just add all 25. So this here is add together all 25 array elements. This, we've already got the sum, so we just divide that by 25. So divide sum of all 25 array elements by 25, which is the length of the array. That's it. So I'm going to attempt to build this again GUI and do it fairly quickly because we're already at 52 minutes, which is kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. In fact, I think I'll do this twice. So let's stop this right here, and then I'll rebuild it again, but I'll rebuild it using a GUI.